Wyoming is more than just the least populated state in America. Beneath its rugged silence lies a land filled with prehistoric fossils, alien-like deserts, and mysterious legends that have fascinated explorers, scientists, and storytellers for generations. Mars on Earth, the Red Desert. One of the most alien-looking places in Wyoming is the Red Desert, covering more than 24,000 square kilometers. Over millions of years, layers of ancient lake sediments built up thick deposits of coal, methane, shale oil, and iron oxide. These iron-rich soils gave the desert its striking red and orange color, while the harsh climate and barren beauty earned it the nickname Wyoming's Mars. The desert's strange landscapes have long inspired filmmakers. For example, the rugged area known as Hell's Half Acre, with its jagged cliffs, deep ravines, and eerie rock formations, became the setting for the alien planet Klendathu in the sci-fi classic Starship Troopers. Not far away lies Devil's Kitchen, a geological wonder carved over millions of years by wind and water. With sharp ridges, colorful rocks, and formations that resemble dinosaur stomachs or polished gemstones, the area looks like a scene from another world. And then there is the most iconic of all, Devil's Tower. Rising dramatically from the plains, this massive volcanic rock formation was created about 40 million years ago when magma cooled deep underground. Over time, erosion exposed the hard phonolite columns, leaving behind the strange towering monolith we see today. Its unique appearance has long been linked to UFO folklore and inspired films like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Today, the nearby town of Hewlett even hosts the Devil's Tower UFO Festival, attracting enthusiasts and researchers from around the world. Wyoming is also one of America's UFO hotspots. Since 1995, over 420 sightings of UFOs and UAPs have been reported, most frequently near the city of Cheyenne. Wyoming, the land of dinosaurs and fossils. Wyoming is also one of the richest fossil regions in North America, often called dinosaur country. Since the mid-19th century, paleontologists have uncovered countless dinosaur remains here. In fact, one local resident once built an entire cabin from nearly 6,000 dinosaur bones, a structure still standing today. Museums such as the Wyoming Dinosaur Center and the Tate Geological Museum at Casper College display remarkable specimens, including Jimbo, a giant sauropod unearthed in 1995, and the largest Columbian mammoth ever found in North America, discovered in 2006. In 2025, paleontologists near Du Bois announced the discovery of a 230-million-year-old fossil, one of the oldest dinosaurs ever found on the continent. Wyoming's Red Gulch Dinosaur Track Site preserves more than 1,000 fossilized dinosaur footprints from the Jurassic era, making it one of the most important fossil sites in the United States. The state's connection to dinosaurs even appears in modern culture. In 1994, Wyoming schoolchildren voted to make the Triceratops the official state dinosaur, a symbol of their pride in the prehistoric heritage beneath their feet. Islands in a landlocked state. Though Wyoming has no coastline, it still boasts dozens of islands, most found in its man-made lakes and reservoirs. These islands, surrounded by crystal-clear waters and dramatic mountain backdrops, add another surprising twist to this empty land. Wyoming's remarkable legacy. So while Wyoming is the least populated state in America, it is far from empty. From Mars-like deserts and mysterious UFO stories to dinosaur fossils that date back hundreds of millions of years, Wyoming is a place where history, science, and myth collide. This is what makes Wyoming so fascinating, a land that seems quiet, yet holds some of the most extraordinary stories in the United States. Wyoming is a land of rugged beauty, surprising history, and unique traditions. Beyond its wide-open landscapes and national parks, the state hides stories that are as wild and fascinating as the frontier itself. Let's explore some of the most remarkable facts about Wyoming. Nature in the islands of Wyoming. Although it's famous for mountains and plains, Wyoming also has a surprising number of islands, 32 officially named ones, scattered across its lakes and rivers. Jackson Lake holds the largest share, with about a third of all the state's islands clustered there. Yellowstone Lake, at the heart of the nation's first national park, is also home to beautiful and secluded islands. One of the most historic is Expedition Island on the Green River, the launch site of two legendary journeys led by Major John Wesley Powell in 1869 and 1871, which mapped much of the American West. Gun laws and the cowboy spirit. True to its frontier heritage, Wyoming has some of the most open gun laws in the country. Since April 2021, both residents and visitors are allowed to carry firearms without a permit. The state still maintains a concealed carry permit system, valid for 5 years so that Wyoming gun owners can be recognized in other states. Many counties have even passed resolutions affirming their commitment to protecting gun rights and resisting federal interference, a reflection of Wyoming's deep cowboy spirit of independence. A governor's shocking shoes. One of Wyoming's most unusual stories comes from its third governor, John Eugene Osborne. Before entering politics, Osborne worked as a forensic doctor. After the outlaw Big Nose George Parrott was executed, Osborne went so far as to make a pair of shoes from the criminal's skin, and in a move that shocked the nation, he wore those shoes to his inauguration ceremony. Beaufort, the town with one resident. Wyoming is also home to America's smallest town. Beaufort once had only a single resident, and in 2013, the entire town was auctioned off for $900,000. The buyer was Pham Dinh Nguyen, a businessman from Vietnam, who renamed it Findeli Town Beaufort to promote Vietnamese coffee to American travelers. Unique festivals. Culture in Wyoming is anything but ordinary. The state hosts unusual festivals that celebrate its myths and traditions. Jackalope Days honor the legendary jackalope, a creature said to be half jackrabbit, half antelope. The Mountain Man Rendezvous brings history to life, recreating the lifestyle of Native Americans and fur trappers of the 19th century. And the Snowmobile Hill Climb Championship transforms snowy slopes into a roaring arena, drawing thousands of fans to watch racers test their skills on steep, icy hills. America's coal powerhouse. Finally, Wyoming is the nation's coal giant. The state produces about 40% of all coal in the United States, thanks to enormous mines like Black Thunder. Wyoming coal is especially valued for its low sulfur content, which makes it cleaner to burn. Yet even as a fossil fuel leader, the state is also embracing the future, investing in carbon capture and renewable technologies, supported by more than $500 billion in federal funding. Wyoming, America's tax paradise and blockchain frontier. When most people think of Wyoming, they picture wide-open plains, cowboys, and Yellowstone National Park. But there's another side to this state that few outsiders realize. Wyoming has quietly built a reputation as America's very own domestic tax haven, and even as a global leader in blockchain innovation. Wyoming, the tax paradise of the United States. Unlike most states, Wyoming refuses to burden its residents and businesses with major taxes. There is no state income tax, no corporate tax, no tax on retirement income, no inheritance tax, and no tax on capital gains. On top of that, the state sales tax is only 4%, and essential groceries are exempt. Businesses also enjoy broad exemptions. No taxes on inventory, mining equipment, shares, or even cash holdings. Property taxes are strictly capped and carefully regulated. The result? Wyoming has become a magnet for wealthy individuals and corporations seeking to minimize their tax load, earning comparisons to global financial havens like Panama. Consequences and oversight. But tax paradise doesn't come without controversy. Wyoming has faced scrutiny over financial transparency and its role in potential money laundering. In recent years, the state has tightened regulations on foreign shell companies, balancing its pro-business environment with a stronger commitment to oversight. How Wyoming balances its budget. So if Wyoming collects so little in traditional taxes, how does it fund itself? The answer lies in natural resources and smart investments. Key sources of state revenue include federal mineral royalties, about $638 million. Severance taxes on resource extraction, $758 million. Investment income, $792 million. State sales tax, around $1.28 billion. Altogether, Wyoming runs a roughly $3.9 billion annual budget, without ever needing to impose a personal income tax. Wyoming, America's blockchain capital. Beyond tax advantages, Wyoming is pioneering a new frontier, blockchain and digital assets. With fewer than 600,000 residents, the state has passed over 45 blockchain-related laws since 2016. It legally recognizes digital assets, allows banks to provide custody for cryptocurrencies, and even supports the creation of decentralized finance companies. Perhaps the most ambitious step is the Wyoming Stable Token, a state-backed stablecoin tied to U.S. Treasury bonds. This digital currency is designed not only for in-state use but also to circulate globally, generating revenue for education and positioning Wyoming as a blockchain hub of the future. With near-zero taxes, business-friendly laws, and strong privacy protections, Wyoming has become a prime destination for wealthy investors, tech companies, and blockchain innovators. It is both America's domestic tax paradise and a laboratory for the financial systems of tomorrow. From cattle ranches to crypto, Wyoming is redefining what it means to be a frontier state. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring Wyoming's history and its surprising facts, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to History Love, your go-to channel for the most fascinating stories of the past.